Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Game Plan in Japan. So this is episode 2. And today, real quickly, we're going to have an introduction.
Right.
All right, so today we have a truly fascinating guest with us. Joining us, meet Shunsuke, a former English teacher.
Former.
Until
yesterday.
Until yesterday,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. Very creative soul, probably one of the most creative people I've met. A linguist, loves language, 100% Giga Chad, with a wealth of experience living in Japan. So now, on the brink of an exciting new adventure in
Belarus, yeah.
he will share his captivating journey with us, insights into life in Japan, and how his experiences will shape his next chapter. So without further ado, let's dive into this insightful conversation. Hello, what's up, man?
Hi. Yeah, I just lost my job yesterday, and I feel calm because I don't have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, like you could sleep, anytime.
Yeah, I could sleep anytime.
Do whatever you want.
Besides I have to take a plane and fly to Belarus
All right, so
tomorrow.
I guess for the self-introduction part, I'll be guiding you through some questions.
'Kay.
Could you tell everyone your name?
Hi, my name is Shunsuke. I'm 25 years old, and what else do I have to say?
Because by the way, this guy we're talking to right now, he has a million names. He's known for Chicken God, Mama, Patrick Pereman.
Patrick Perriman.
So let's choose one just for the sake of
Yeah, I'd go for Shunsuke now because Patrick. I was working as Patrick Pere Mama. I was using a lot of alias when I was working as an English teacher. But right now I'm jobless. I'm just a random guy living in Chiba Prefecture.
Right.
I guess I'm Shunsuke.
Well, I guess Shunsuke.
Yeah,
Shunsuke, that works.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like, is there any point in your life where when you get like a nickname of some sorts?
Oh yeah, when I was a child, my nickname was like Doc.
Doc?
Yeah, Doc. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
the doctor?
not the doctor. Actually, it was like from my surname is Shindo, so like they call me Shindo-kun, right? And then they some like funny bunch they decided to call me Shin Doc instead of Shindo-kun. Like it sounds like
Shindoku became like Doc.
Shin Doc, and like they removed Shin because it was long.
Got you. I see. So yeah, we're talking about childhood. So tell the viewers, how is it like growing up here in Japan? Like what's the shebang with your childhood?
I think the most amazing thing about like growing up in Japan is that you have a lot of things. Like you have anime, you have like I mean
Things to do. There's a lot.
yeah, it's not about like right now it's kind of getting worldwide, but back then it was probably like more Japan exclusive to have anime, to have access to like
Pokemon.
Pokemon, some like
Right.
really like or more core like hardcore Japanese
Mm-hmm.
video games. I love this game called Armored Core. They're like selling the new
The new version is coming out.
version, yeah.
I saw
Soon,
that
like
one.
August or something. I think when I was a child, it was not really like worldwide stuff. It was just like Japan exclusive, kind of like cult Japanese video
Right.
game, right? But I could just get my hands on it, and I could obviously play in original language. So
Oh, yeah.
that's like the big benefit of being Japanese. You get hands on Japanese
Access to it.
culture.
Yeah.
Without needing to learn the language or without needing to wait for the translation,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's a bomb.
Okay. Is it gonna explode anytime soon?
This bomb.
Oh, right.
Anyways, yeah. Going back to that, it's a Japan exclusive. The exclusivity.
Right.
It just means you get access to it way earlier, And then, because usually like games, like I would say like way back,
Right.
they would release the Japanese version and we would have to wait for a couple of months
Right.
or years or this is the worst case.
Right.
It's never released.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of good unreleased games.
Yeah.
That's probably a big part
Yeah,
of like,
that's big. And also like, well, it works on the like the other way as well, but you can like being able to like play stuffs or like watch stuffs in original language is really big, I think, because there are some parts that they really cannot translate or they really cannot express in
there's
other languages.
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some like, phrases and sentences that is like straight up not translatable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So there are like really a great deal of memes that are like only memes in Japan, and only Japanese people get it because
yeah.
like they get the original version. They only like it's only funny
in Japanese.
in Japanese or
in the context of as a
Yeah.
Japanese
yeah
individual.
yeah. So
that would
that's-
apply for the comedy as well, right? Like
yeah,
I've tried. My favorite anime is Gintama.
right.
And a lot of the gags, it's a great show. Everyone should watch it.
yeah.
Although I would say half of the time when they make like a gag, they show a face, right?
Right.
So it's referring to a Japanese
celebrity.
celebrity instance that
Right.
obviously I wouldn't have any clue.
Right.
So I guess being Japanese and you appreciate more media.
Right.
guess,
Be growing up here, you understand more of these stuff. So,
Right.
The things refer to, in the video games as well, there are a lot of like parodies or, like kind of like jokes about
Yeah.
Japanese culture, Japanese TV shows or, anime reference. There are a lot of references.
Yeah.
Only Japanese people get it.
Get it.
And that's great that I understand it, and I'm happy that I was born Japanese so I could understand these kind of things.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. It's like you don't want to be what they like to call like lost in translation. Like there are animes
Right.
or there are like shows that would hit you different if you really knew how the words weigh, because the words have their meaning, but when you say it, like let's say in Japanese
Right.
and in English, they weigh differently, right?
Yeah, differently, much like really differently. I mean, like some things would sound it funnier or like less funnier,
Less funnier if
or
it's
less, I don't know, like emotional or more emotional in certain languages. So it's I think Japanese language has such like
unique
vibe
to it,
taste or unique
It has
kind
it's
of like
very unique. That's why it's so hard. Like take for example saying stupid in Japanese. Like if someone goes up to you
Right.
and says, "Hey, you're stupid," right?
right.
But in Japanese it's like, what is it?
It could be baka. It could
Like
be-
baka.
Yeah.
It's kind of some anime girls like say baka, like they're like, "Oh, you're the meaning is like
It's stupid, but it hits different.
it's different."
Yeah.
Like the anime girl when she gets touched and like, baka.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's like cute, right?
Yeah.
But in actuality, like in English, when you say, "Hey, you stupid," or if that the same thing happens, like touch, "You stupid."
Yes, straight up offensive, right?
Way different.
Yeah.
Way different.
Yeah.
So you appreciate that you grew up in this culture, in this as a native.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's fucking great. I mean, when I was a child, honestly, I didn't see any like a lot of foreign people out there. If I see them, I would have like been staring at them or
Yeah.
something, like not being racist or anything.
Yeah.
Like there's even a picture of me with like American soldier.
Okay.
He's African American, and he's holding me. I mean, just holding a kid, right?
Could you give more? Like, why? Why was an American soldier holding you?
I will sound so Japanese by saying it, but my my uncle is a karate master.
Okay.
He literally runs a
dojo?
Yeah.
Okay.
He literally runs a dojo, and
wild.
his dojo goes to American base. When karate, Japanese, right? He goes to he and his dojo crew goes to this American base, Yokota base, and they perform like breaking the
bricks,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just ice, stones, or like this baseball bat. They kick the shit out of it and they snap it
in half.
Yeah. That kind of things. And then American people be like, oh, that's Japanese culture. So he kind of did it every year. I don't know now, but I was like going there kind of like every year.
Just like watching.
It's just like watching. Like your
yeah.
uncle does these cool things. Let's go watch it. Let's go cheer him up and stuff. And so I was held by this like American soldier, and I was crying. I mean, he's not doing anything, right? I mean, he has nothing against me, but still, he looks different and stuff. So of course, like not being a racist or anything, just it's different. So me as a kid, 3 years old, just crying, just crying.
Not used to it. Same thing with like anything.
Yeah,
if you're not used to something, you get uncomfortable, and as a kid, that's what you're probably
especially
gonna do.
for kids, right?
You cry, right?
Yeah, so
we get that a lot,
Yeah. Like in it's different. Oh shit.
we're putting the bleep in there. We're putting the bleep. Hey, remember, while editing, you got to put in the bleep.
Yeah, please put the bleep. But yeah. Like when they come into our facility, they're like, "Wow, who the f are they?" Like,
and then they just start crying, bawling their eyes out.
Yeah. The same thing, but I guess back then I haven't seen any different people.
That's why.
That's why I was like bursting in tears. And
that makes total sense. Like even at school, at first, that's why you're nervous.
Right.
That it makes you uncomfortable just because you're exposed in this unfamiliar territory.
Right.
And speaking of that, like educational system, like how was your school days? How would you describe it? Yeah.
I would describe it. I wasn't the best student at school. I was more like, Japanese education is more about like, I don't know, like remembering,
right?
Like the stuff, the numbers, the words or the kanji. I'm not really good at kanji, first of all. Like whenever I took like history exam, I am like really a history person. I love history and stuff, but I can't write a damn kanji about this whatever treaty, whatever incident, whatever. And they usually just want you to answer the name of the incident or the treaty or whatever. So I wasn't really good at like studying as in Japanese education system because I can't write things or I can't remember how they are written, that kind of stuff. But I kind of like gave up like on that kind of education myself. I was, when I was in high school, there was already internet and I had iPod with a pocket Wi-Fi and whatever.
Right.
So whenever I was in class, I was just like scrolling through, what do we have back then? Like Facebook or like, something on the internet and just, spending time chatting with people.
Just chilling. Were you the were you the friendly guy, or were you the I'm sitting on the corner of the classroom staring out the window type?
So up until like junior high school, I was kind of like the funny guy.
Okay.
I would do anything that I would feel like
Like
it's funny. Yeah.
Uh,
And I get like beaten by the teachers and stuff. Like I even really got beaten by this teacher. And that's pretty Japanese, I guess. But yeah, but you know, for the record, I get it. I mean, I deserved it. I fully deserved it. You know, I was just
messing around.
yeah, you know, I was like too noisy or something, so I was told to sit down like in front or something.
Okay.
And when I'm in front, I would just
You do more shit.
yeah, start doing like handstand or something, and he comes to me and fucking slap my face. Like yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I claimed it, so it's fine. But when I went to high school, you know, the first semester or something, I kind of got bullied and stuff, and I was like, well, yeah, whatever, you know, I would then just not stand out from now on. Then I kept kind of like my profile low for the duration of high school. I mean, yeah, I was still kind of like, I don't know, like grabbing attention in like different ways.
Right.
But still I didn't like really talk, like, you know, speak up in class and stuff. I
Right.
was just like taking like English class maybe seriously, but the other classes are just on my phone, whatever, just doing stuff.
Would you say that you enjoyed your high school life?
Yeah, I think so, moderately eventually. You know, of course there's this like bullying and stuff in in the beginning, but I think I used my time quite efficiently in a way. You know, I was on the internet most of the time, honestly, but a lot of things were happening back then on the internet, right? I mean right now more, even more so, but back then as well, we had a lot of, you know, Instagram going on,
Right, some social media stuff.
yeah, chatting with people and stuff. So I spent a lot of my school time chatting with people, playing some video games,
Right.
and I genuinely loved doing so. And when I was on third grade, I had a chance to so in my school we had to like do a drama play when you were like third grader, and I had a chance to write the script for the drama, and I also did like this villain guy because they didn't have enough actors there. So yeah, I think I had a genuinely good time back then as well.
I see. That's good. And I want to touch up a little bit more on speaking of the abuse you got.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, in recent years,
Right.
there's been a growing focus on the mental well-being of people in general, and especially in students. Like, how was mental health addressed within the educational system during your time, like compared to now, wherein we see a lot more activity when it comes to like, you know, cyberbullying, bullying, or just straight up like mental care for kids? How is it different from today and from your time?
I'm not really sure about today, but I kind of believe that like it's not like it's dramatically better today. I mean, there are cases of people like literally, you know, ending their lives and you know, that kind of things going on, really bad stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, to focus on students, like before that, like, could we get a quick how do you say this, like an example of what is a typical bullying incident in Japan or in a Japanese educational system?
Like back
what
then?
happens? Yeah, what happens back then?
Yeah, I feel like it's quite the same, like, I mean, bullying, and like the one who got bullied would like snap to the bullies, and like eventually ending up like murdering these people.
Right.
Or the other side, like they eventually
Do
got,
too much and
yeah, and stuff happens. It's always been the problem here, and it's always been happening.
right. Can you give me more specific examples of like what you saw like as I would say like maybe high school where it's more like serious. Like what are they what's happening?
Like in my high school, or
Yeah, or in
general.
general, if you could speak as in a Japanese perspective, because it might be different from America, like
Right.
America or the Western side of things. It might be different from my place, where it's just maybe a little bit of a verbal attacks, or it could be because I heard it gets pretty dark here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think a lot of Japanese people tend to like really accumulate stress until they explode.
Okay.
So, like when they get bullied and stuff, a lot of people tend to kind of shut up and like just try to endure it until they can't. And then things like whatever I've heard was like, this kid who was bullied got like, an eraser thrown at him or something.
An eraser. Okay.
Yeah, just
By
by a bully.
Okay.
It was kind of like unfortunately it was kind of like a usual setup for them, and then suddenly he snaps and like takes a cutter or something and like
And just start stabbing people.
yeah, things like that, just cutting their faces and whatever. I've heard it when I was probably like high schooler or something.
Right.
So I think Japanese people just tend to hold it
Until
they can, and then they end up doing something against
ridiculous,
them
yeah.
or something against themselves. So that's kind of been the trend, and it's probably still is a trend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And the thing is, it's I guess you have an experience with a lot of Japanese kids, of course, but they are not. Some of them are okay, but a lot of them are not okay with like kind of like disclosing their emotions, they're showing their like true
They're not really open.
opinion. Yeah, like they're kind of self-reserved, and,
Or they just don't know how to open up.
Yeah, how to
Yeah.
start talking about
That's
it.
what we try and do. It's like we become like an outlet for some kids.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's for some that's for the us being their like guardians and
Yeah.
and that's the point. Like recently, in more recent times, a lot of people are more accepting and open to like there is a possibility
right.
that kids are, or people in general are in need of like some sort of like outlet, or and they could open up and feel more. It's just in general, it just feels better to open
Right.
up. It feels way easier. And as a kid, like you don't even like I notice at least from a foreigner standpoint, like,
Right.
when I see these scenes like of bullying happening, like a gang of boys like just completely trash one guy, put him in the bathroom and like dumps
Right.
his head in the toilet,
Right.
and then after that it's like nothing happened.
Right.
I just can't grasp that. Like, have you ever seen anything like that, or was there anything near that type of like bullying that you've seen?
that hardcore like in drama or anime, that
yeah.
kind of things. Honestly, I haven't really.
Is it exaggerated?
Yeah, probably.
Ah.
Or there are some cases probably like
But
not
just not. You haven't seen it.
not usual, not usual. But
What's
yeah.
the worst one you've seen?
The worst one I've seen. The worst one I've seen. Let's see. Um, most bullies probably in Japan, or not even only in Japan. Most bullies, they don't feel like they are doing something bad.
Okay.
That's kind
That's
of
the idea. Yeah.
That's what I've observed. They are not like doing it to like harm this person. I mean, or something. Even though they are doing
they're
it.
just thinking it's like cool. Or
Yeah,
something
they're
like that.
they're like having fun.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. They're like, hey, this guy's doing this. Look at him. It's funny. And like 3 or 4 kids look at him and like say something like, yeah, you're funny, whatever. And then this guy actually is not happy about it. That's a bullying, right?
Right.
So, like when you are really doing this, like facing the bathroom, facing the toilet stuff, you are evil. You are evil.
No, but that's the thing though. Like, usually when you're within a circle of friends and you guys are like just fucked up in the head,
Right.
You just wanna one up each other, right? Like, I'm this type of person. I'm a badass, right?
Right.
So watch this, and it's not like you're doing it to have fun, but it's like doing it for the sake of showing off,
Like proving yourself.
like proving yourself, and it turns out to be stupid. Well, obviously, like a lot of kids wouldn't understand the balance of what is stupid and what's not stupid, right? And I was just wondering because Japan is very open.
Right.
I see a lot of kids just walking out, walking in. There's a lot of freedom here that I would say my country doesn't have, just because of like like just in terms of safety. Like, obviously here elementary kids just walk by themselves.
Right.
First graders,
yeah.
they walk from their school to their homes, having their keys and everything.
Right.
So, do you think, in general, do you think kids here in Japan have more, because they have a lot more alone time?
Right.
Do you think they're more isolated or
Yeah,
not
well,
looked upon better?
kind of depends, I think. Like,
Okay.
the thing I could say for sure is when like Japanese kids, I would say they have more free time, or they have more time.
I would call it independence.
Independence,
Yeah.
not under supervision
Right.
of someone,
Right.
right.
Exactly.
right? Unless you are sent to like this institute after school, or
You're right. Yeah.
if that's the case, you will have more supervision, more
Guidance.
guidance, more
Because
care.
I imagine these things like when on my free time, like, what if I didn't, or what if this kid X, did not meet me, or we didn't have this talk about, hey, it's not okay to touch girls, okay?
Yeah. That's actually what end up happens, right? When they have a lot of time and not under supervision.
Supervision, yeah.
Then
So I ponder about that. Have you ever thought about that? Like, what if this kid did not go here? Like, what would have happened?
right. I mean, no more like, since I grew up here, right?
Okay. To be fair.
I reflect myself
more
onto
than-
them more than
Yeah.
thinking about them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, how would I have been if I was here?
Yeah.
Or how would I have been feeling
Different. Yeah.
or different when I was a child, if we had we had
a
a
lot.
place,
A place wherein you have extra guidance.
yeah, or if I had this kind of opportunity where I get to
To shape a kid's life, early
no,
childhood.
like as a child, see this different people.
Right. Different types of
Different types of people. I mean,
personalities.
back then, really like when I was really really little, kind of different people that I saw were my cousin, for example. She's an Australian, and I've seen her sometimes, but like it's just child to child, right? It's just kind of like kid to kid thing, like
Which happens a lot.
yeah, just when you're a kid, you don't really, and the other person is a kid.
Yeah.
You don't really try to differentiate each other.
You just go there and just go wild.
Yeah, kids are kids. No kids are racist or like
They
no
don't
kids
know.
are like afraid of other kids. Kid to kid, it's just kid.
Having kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing kid stuff.
When there's a different kind of adult, let's say there's an adult who can't speak Japanese,
Then the dynamics change.
then
right?
it's
Yeah.
scary, or then it's different. Then
Yeah.
this person is like, what is this person? Why does this
Why
person
is he here? Yeah.
not speaking Japanese?
Right.
What does he say?
What does it mean? you know?
Yeah, because as a kid, I think you are kind of like used to listening to the adults and being able to understand the instructions you get from the adults. Because the adults, for number one, in your mind is your parents,
Right.
and they give you the instructions in the language that you know.
You know, which would be Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then go to this like institute where the adults speak to you in
In a foreign language.
foreign language. You're gonna be like,
Oh.
that's different,
Yeah.
and that's kind of mind blowing, right?
I guess.
And-
that would be fair. Yeah.
And these people who don't even speak your language would kind of try to form you
Right.
as a
In
person.
way, as a person. Yeah.
You're gonna be different for sure.
So speaking of being different, like if you had a choice, would you be willing to, if you could go back in time, would you be willing to be part of that type of institution while growing up, or would you prefer having it like the same?
I'd say
Or let's change the question. Like,
Right.
would you think it's beneficial for you if you would have that experience? If you would have been in that type of institute where
I'd
you're
say
exposed?
I'd say it's 50-50. I mean,
It depends, I guess.
it definitely wouldn't be me.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I'm happy with myself, of course. So, like, I'm not like, let's say I have a time machine. I'm not going to change anything. I've done my fair share of stuffs. And, I would say maybe I would be better, right? Maybe I would be graduating from university or whatever if I go to this kind of institute and like get proper guidance from the adults. But also,
You'd lose some things. along
yeah,
the way.
probably I don't have this like tolerance
Yeah.
and stuff to a lot of stuff. Like I've experienced a lot of stuff because I kind of like suffered like not having money and stuff. Like my in a good way, my standard got lower.
Lower.
It got lower, and I got really like open to a lot of things, and I really got this like way of living where I can like I can hear others kind of things. Like if I was like properly guided, maybe like graduated university without like suffering anything, without failing, then I would have been much different, of course.
Right.
I would have been more proud. I'm proud of myself, but in a different way. I would have been more, hey, I'm good, that kind of person. And of course, these kind of people are great,
Yeah.
but also that's not me.
Not
So-
you now. That's a fair answer. That's
Yeah.
a fair answer. It's just part of who you are.
Yeah,
Like right now, you wouldn't take any other versions of you.
yeah.
Unless it's you. That's a fair one.
Yeah.
So we could probably step a little bit forward to English.
Right.
Like because not. I think it's fair for me to say I've met my fair share of Japanese people.
Right.
Your English level is outstanding.
Thanks.
And it is quite, I would say it's quite special. And to give context to all the listeners, he hasn't been to an English speaking country ever. And to be able to express yourself like this is something I think it's very special. So could you tell us, or could you tell me more about how you got into English?
Well, first of all, I kind of had an interest about it, right? I mean, my cousin,
Since
is an Australian, and like,
how old were you?
I was, first time I met her, I was a baby, so of course I don't remember, but I've been in touch with her like every once in a while, like it's not really frequently. It was like a few times. I don't know, like I don't remember a lot from like when I met her, but it was like once a few years. So it's not really like frequent or anything, but I had a kind of an interest, right? Like, like I met this person. Like in my head, I had a concept that this language or this different thing exists in the world. I mean, I'd say a lot of Japanese kids don't have this mindset. Hey, like
there's something going on besides Japanese.
Yeah, there are like phrases a lot of people say like in school and stuff. Hey, if you don't get out of Japan, you don't need English, which is true.
Oh, really? They say that?
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, not right now maybe, but back then it was definitely true.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no foreign individuals. There was no.
It's a closed off country. It's very tight,
Yeah, and it's a relatively rich country.
Yeah.
So
and the culture itself, it's like.
Yeah, you got a lot to amuse yourself without knowing English.
Yeah,
and I think it's still a very, very valid standpoint. I mean, even if like into 2023, even if you don't know a pickle of English,
but you're here.
You can leave. You can leave. Yeah,
100%,
you just don't have to. I don't know, kind of not relate to other people.
Yeah, but what steered you though? Like from that engagement with your cousin, and then what is it? Is it like a sudden? And how'd you learn it?
Yeah, real. What do you say? Like real switch. I got. Yeah. let's beep
you gotta bleep that part.
Yeah,
real editing. Bleep
real
that part.
moment when I
your switch turned on.
Yeah, switch turned on when I how do you say, when I got my button pushed. Just not to get copyrighted. Was when I was like 15 years old or something.
Okay.
I mean, I was kind of good at English class. We Japanese people,
Do you have English class when did it start?
Junior high school. So it
starts junior high school.
13. When I was 13.
That's the first English you learn.
Yeah, as a
Japanese at that time.
At that time, of course, yeah.
So could you, real quick before you move on,
right,
could you give me some samples of the things they try to teach junior high school? Junior high school kids around your time.
So it's grammar, of course.
Okay.
And what you learn is simple. It's very, very simple. It's just simple, like present tense. I like basketball.
Okay.
And then past tense. I liked basketball.
Okay.
And then you learn, of course, future. I will learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you learn
So it's more.
past
So it's more textbook
perfect.
style.
Yeah.
Like making sure that you are grammatically correct compared to like more on writing or speaking. It's more. Let's read this.
It's
And
puzzle. I would say it's puzzle.
okay.
It's puzzle. Just like it's kind of like Aiken test. It's a
It's like
puzzle style. You put which word do you put here?
which is correct.
I
see.
something liked basketball.
Yeah.
For 5 years. I have liked something like that. Well, it's not really like natural phrases. You just kind of like have to prove yourself that you're correct.
And it's not really I wouldn't say, or I would guess that it wasn't really a big necessity to like be, oh shit, I'm fluent in English.
No,
Right?
not really. You just don't really have to speak or anything. You just have to
just
like
have to know.
solve the puzzle.
Yeah, you just have to know the answer
Yeah.
pretty much.
And yeah, it was just this 4 tense, like perfect, present, past, and future.
Mm-hmm.
And then plus like these things that connects the 2 sentences. I forgot what they're called, but like this is the picture which I took, this which
Okay.
thing. That's the things we learned.
So it's
back
pretty
then.
much yeah, textbooks.
Yeah, it's pretty much textbook style.
Did you ever have any speaking or speaking related activities?
We had ALTs actually,
Okay.
but once like every 2 weeks or once in a week or like for some season, I don't remember, but it was not like every day.
Every day, I see.
Sometimes we have like ALTs,
Right.
and I was the kind of kid who kind of like just go and try to talk to that ALT guy.
And you were pretty good.
I think so. I mean, I was decent.
You would you say you were above average then?
Yeah,
In your
yeah, a
class.
bit above average.
And considering the fact that you're starting to like understand that, oh, this is actually quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you're more kind of like attached to it more than the others, would you say?
No, I don't think so. I was kind of like
Whatever.
yeah, just enjoying it.
Just do
You
it.
know, it's kind of like I had a prior, experience of dealing with
With this
the
language.
foreigner,
The language barrier
yeah.
between, yeah.
So I was comfortable with it. That's the only reason why I was like kind of
Able
better.
to, yeah, I
Kinda
see.
better.
You had more exposure to it.
Yeah, so
I
I was like,
guess.
okay, it's the same thing. I'm not afraid of this, like Richard.
Richard.
I think it was Richard.
Who would have ever thought you became Patrick?
Yeah.
You're not afraid of Richard? I'm
Yeah,
Patrick.
yeah, just-
I'm going to be Patrick one day. Did you ever think about that? Like, I remember my ALT, Richard. And now I'm Patrick. It's like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
But yeah, the real switch. I'll talk about my real switch. Real switch was that so you have to take entrance exam to
Universities?
to no high school.
Okay.
So it was when I was 15 or something. And then you take entrance examination. For that, you have to go to like cram schools or whatever. Like try to study more, right? So in summer, when I was 15 years old, I was going to this cram school. It was not really like a big cram school. It was rather like small cram school. And I was kind of good at English. I was kind of good at like, everything above average kind of thing. So this guy, this person who was the owner of this like really small cram school, he just kind of picked me to be one of the chosen people to take like more like small people class,
Okay.
like individual class. And there I did this like textbook where I do pretty much everything that's about the junior high school English back then, like grammar book. And I completed in like 30 days or something. It was really like packed. thingy. And when I did it, I was like, you know what? If I know this much, I can say most of the things I want to say. Then I'm this kind of person, as you know, that the audience doesn't know. But I'm kind of this person. When I know I can do it, I will do it. Like I would prove it.
Yeah.
Hey, I can do it.
Yeah.
Because I know I can do it. And I want to make sure I can do it. So, hey, I can do it. So I just went on the internet, right? And like there was this website where you can like kind of like get in touch with the foreigners,
Oh, okay.
right?
That's interesting.
Or like language exchange website. I think it was called Interpals or something.
Okay.
I don't think it's really popular now or back then. I don't know, but
Just went ahead and tried it.
yeah, just did it. I just did it. Just sent some messages.
Yeah.
Got some replies. Like from then, it's just back and forth. Just
Is it like text messaging or was
it's text. It's text.
Okay.
It's text. It's text based, and just started doing it. And yeah, when I noticed, I was doing it like all day. It just kind of became my hobby. It just kind of became like what I do every day. It's a hobby. It's a habit, and I can like keep doing it like hours and hours, just like talking to people on the internet.
Right. How did you translate that to speaking though?
To speaking,
Because it's totally different.
it's totally different, right? But one of the things is that good thing was it was about more casual writing.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a casual writing, right? It's not like I write about, let's say,
Like a review of a.
like a social problems or like review of a movie or anything, and just write casually. Hey, what's up? How are you doing and stuff. And then once I get the grasp of it, I started like these people. There are people, right? They're like, hey, this thing is really funny. Watch it. Hey, this thing is, really interesting. Play this game and stuff. And I tried it, of course, and they recommend it, so I just do it, right? Then I kind of get into this stage where I hear things
So you started consuming Western media.
a lot. Yeah, a lot.
Do you remember any like film or any TV series that you've watched?
So I was, actually talking about it with the new Scottish guy.
Okay.
I was watching this like Scottish comedy show
Okay.
called Burnistown. So it's just like really raw kind of humor where they
Is it
like
stand up or is it?
oh, it's a sitcom.
Oh, it's a sitcom.
It's sitcom. Yeah, it's just like two Scottish guy doing a lot of like a lot of, how do you say, like a lot of characters
I see.
and a lot of situation that's funny. Like they go to gym and like they kind of scream at each other, or like they are the ankles of the ankles of what, like some girl, and they scare the shit out of this like young boy who's dating this girl, or like that kind of characters. Or they are just like these fencing players, but instead of like sword, they just have this one hand, and they try to grab each other's balls, and they say balls when they do that kind of really raw,
Yeah.
really stupid, but it's
And you
in a way
started
it's
hearing
it's yeah, it's you're hearing it, and it's easy to understand. It's very easy to understand. You don't really.
And did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
So
I mean,
that's one key factor, is that you actually are consuming media that you enjoy.
yeah, that
And
is
the learning comes like, I guess, like second to it. Like you watch it because it's fun, not because like I want to learn English, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, just keep scrolling YouTube or something. Just keep watching their episodes, and then when I was already good at hearing and listening and stuff, I started like watching or listening to podcasts or like these celebrity shows where they mainly talk and talk and talk. My favorite show back then was like Graham Norton show, where
Okay.
this like Irish guy invites
Some celebrities.
some
and just
celebrities and talk
starts
about like in
talking.
movies and
Yeah, like
their
what we do
lives.
here.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, like what we do here.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just like fascinating.
So
for me.
fundamentally, you are equipped with like all the knowledge when it comes to like, textbook based,
Right.
and you honed your listening skills to the point where you can absolutely enjoy and watch Western media.
Right.
And then when was your first ever like could you tell me more about your experience when it's like, oh, for the first time I'm gonna be communicating with someone?
Right. So, of course, I had this like chat back and forth,
But
and I
it's
had
talking, like
experience with like Skyping and stuff.
okay.
But like in real life wise, I really didn't have a lot of like,
English speaking
English
acquaintances.
speaking,
Yeah.
like acquaintances. But after I finished my high school, I was like, yeah, why not? Just try something, right? And I started, meeting a lot of people, again from the internet, but now in real life. And then, back then I was on Tinder and stuff.
Okay.
Just,
Just online dating.
dating
Or
or just meeting people.
Okay.
Half and half. Or like I
You were
went to
swiping right on them foreigners, huh? Yeah, okay.
Kind of Tinder, and there's like Hello Talk and stuff.
Okay.
A lot of stuff. And I was just like kind of like meeting a lot of people, a lot of different people. And then once you get to know like this one person like brings me to this other circle of people, and like I met a lot of people. I had a lot of like acquaintances or like opportunities
To talk.
to talk, to just practice.
And out of all your experiences, what would you say is the number one thing that helped you be able to talk and to communicate with using English?
It was, I think, a gradual process, but I remember first time when I like went out for a date
Okay.
or something with a person from another country. And it was kind of like awkward, of course. I mean, my language skills are kind of mid, of course, and also like I wasn't a skilled communicator back then.
Okay.
So I was like kind of awkward, honestly. But once I like did the first round of that thing,
Okay.
I kind of like wanted to be better at it.
Right.
Like better at communicating with people, better at
Expressing yourself.
expressing myself, better at trying to like talk to people. Well, in English,
Right.
I mean, in Japanese, I wasn't really good either, but in English, especially, I wanted to be better. So I started to, when I'm in shower or something, I started to talk to myself.
Oh, that's I've heard that plenty of times. Yeah.
Think
Like
about what I want to say, like
And just try to like say things and
kind of practice. Just think of a situation. Hey, I want to say this thing, and
that's good.
practice.
So you're internalizing, and you heard it here first, guys. It's if you want to learn a language, date for. You heard it here first.
But
This is the way to go.
But I think it was actually before, like, meeting in real life and stuff. I kind of like had a affair
Oh.
on the internet.
Now we
On the
get
internet.
spicy over here. Okay.
Kind of the affair on the internet. And
right.
the first date thingy, of course, was like online,
Right.
of course. So it was only talking that I can like kind of like have fun with this person. Like there wasn't any other way apart from talking to have a good time.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like great. Actually, it worked better that way because you gotta be better
Yeah, you don't have any choice.
at talking. If you can meet in real life, let's say, you can
Probably do something, make something out of anything, right?
yeah, just go to like bowling or something, do
Like
bowling.
a cafe, just like talk about, just be distracted with
or
anything.
eat together.
Eat together.
That's it.
But if you're just talking, that's all you could do.
yeah, that's all you could do. So that's why you gotta be better.
We got some nice advice from Patrick over here. I'm gonna make some phone calls,
Yeah, that's why you gotta be better. I think like that's why you gotta be good enough to hold the conversation, good
Right,
enough to disclose yourself in the way you are interesting.
Right. I
So
see.
yeah, that's one thing is practicing. One thing is to be ready. When you are asked like certain kind of question,
You just have to have
you just
the
have
answer.
to have the answer. Yeah, I already practiced in my shower, but
Right.
naked. I can say the
Nice.
thing.
Nice.
And another thing is to kind of limit yourself and
Right.
force yourself into this situation where you have to speak.
You really have to. I need to remember those things, dude. Like, 袋いりますか? Oh shit. It's like, oh, here we go. What do I say? Hi. No, it's just being prepared, pretty much.
Right.
Now, if I would compare myself 6 years ago
Right.
to now, like, what you're saying makes sense. That you have to be prepared.
Yeah, you
when
can
asked
say
questions.
You can say hi because you are prepared for 袋いりますか question.
Yes.
Now, someone might ask you なんか I don't know, like, how was your childhood?
Oh,
Or
I
something in
see.
Japanese,
I see.
right?
Uh-huh.
Now, if I ask you, 子供の頃、なんかどんな暮らししてたんですか?
No,
わからない。
I totally get. And
Right.
as foreigners, we have this like exit of we have this escape.
Right.
It's hi.
Yeah.
That's the escape.
Yeah.
If you just say hi, you could go through.
End conversation.
End
Finish.
conversation. No. Hi. It means like I don't understand, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Move along, right?
Yeah.
And going back to your point, it's the thing I was talking about. It's like being prepared. Is 6 years ago I would say hi without understanding
Right.
the context. Do you need a bag?
Right.
And I would just say, I thought she said, I don't know, you look good today. And I was like, hi. But now I could probably say, yes, please. お願いします.
Yeah.
It's now it's like the difference is because I know the situation already.
Right.
And in your case, you thought about it before it even occurred.
Yeah.
And to me, I dig myself a
You
hole.
just lived through it.
Yeah. Which
guess-
is not efficient. I would.
I guess that's kind of like my trait too. I think you've seen me in action, but I'm always thinking about this situation B and A,
Right.
and I'm kind of like the person who want to be ready for A and B.
Just in case.
Yeah, A might happen, so let's do this.
Just in case.
B might happen, let's do this.
Right. I
And
understand.
in English too, you might ask me A, so let's think about A.
And then what else does it branch out to? Like
Yeah.
and
Then, once you are like good at A, B, then sometimes C comes, and it like you said, it might branch out to A,
some other things.
A plus,
8.1,
A.2,
8.2,
A.2. But that one you can kind of like learn from living through it,
Mm.
like it happened to you. So that way, first you can talk about your, let's say, your childhood. My childhood was like this, like that, like this and that. Once you talked about it, let's say with me, right? Next time the other person, Joey, asks you about your childhood in Japanese somehow, you can say it because you already
And you're
talked about it.
probably better.
And you're probably better, and then you probably have more.
filter the unnecessary parts and add more interesting.
Yeah,
bits
so you probably have this like A+1 branch, A+2
right,
branch,
right.
and
I totally
you
agree.
get better.
So to wrap up the whole English thing, you were just interested in it because you have a little bit of a background with it, a little
Right.
bit of exposure
Really
from your
small, really
from your
small.
cousin.
Yeah.
Then growing up while learning it, realizing, you know what, I might be pretty good with this, and try to prove yourself that I can do it. Started doing some online stuff.
Yeah.
Started some text messaging. Did some talking, speaking with foreigners,
Right.
and consuming Western media.
Right.
And then this happened.
This happened. Yeah, kind of like,
Okay.
I don't know, like,
Which is amazing.
yeah.
Some people would need a couple of years, let's say living in the States, or
Right.
you're living in an English speaking country, to be able to like converse the way you do, or to speak or have a command of the language the way you do. So that's big props to that.
Yeah. Thanks. And yeah, I just kind of was thinking about this situation. I guess most people have denial
Uh-huh.
when they are in the actual situation. They will have the denial. Like, oh, I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed. Like, let's say you come to Japan, everyone speaks to you in Japanese,
Yeah.
and like you're like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
I had enough.
Right.
But my biggest like feature that helped me was that I was just like, I had a big balls.
You're confident.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, just, yeah, I can do it. It's fine. Just take it. Just take it. Like, that's it, I guess. Like, I just don't have this kind of like
Self-doubt.
and barrier, I think.
You heard it first here again. Self-confidence is just
And
preaching.
remove the barrier.
The barrier that helps you from going further. That's
Yeah.
why you can't go Super Saiyajin, because you have a barrier. You gotta take it off and start transforming. Because it's amazing to think about. Just looking at it from the outside.
Right.
Like, you don't have any experiences with like living in a place that speaks English, while
No.
I have been here for 6 years and is still unable to be the level I want to be. And going back to that, it's because of that barrier.
Yeah.
I haven't removed, or I haven't totally got rid of the barrier, which I know exists. I'm old enough. I know why I'm not
Right.
leveling up or growing up. But again, it's just fucking amazing that, you could just stay here and just, you know what? I'm going to be fluent in English and just start doing shit.
But I mean, I think there's another thing. Like, the process, like, it's kind of like slow at the beginning, but once you hit somewhere, there's this like point where it kind of goes like, phew, like,
Okay.
like exponential growth.
Right,
So
right,
yeah,
right,
like, you hit one point and it suddenly
Goes zoom.
goes zoom, because you like in anything, because you start to understand how
Right.
it works. You start to be better at the things that you're doing, because you know more, and because it's more comfortable
To
to
do it.
do it.
Yeah.
So you will have more extra, let's say, extra power, extra energy to spend
And
on
confidence.
growth
And
Yeah.
confidence.
and confidence. It was kind of the same with my service in the institute we worked together. after I hit 1 year,
Yeah.
things were different. Like 1 year.
You think so?
Yeah, just 1 year because it was when last summer actually. It was last summer I think. Last summer I finished my whole year trip of working there, and then I knew that next one is this. I'm going to do this Halloween event. So I'm going to like I said, I'm going to prep for the situation A and B. So that's why I could like start talking to other people. Hey, how about buying these stuffs now? Like let's buy these stuffs. And then I bought the stuffs. I just dump them in the box and like seal it and put it in the place like where we hide stuffs. And we took it out like the week before or something. We opened it. It's already there.
It's already there. Yeah.
That's because I knew it. And that's, for me, was the point where this exponential growth goes in my service as a teacher there. Like, since I know it. So, yeah, that's why I think I'm kind of this person who's...
That's your trait.
Yeah, really.
You heard it here first. Being prepared is key.
I'm really like, hey, what's going on? What's coming?
Yeah, knowledge is power. If you know what's coming, what's that? I think it's from The Art of War. It's like, if you know your opponent, you're stronger or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Probably something. I butchered that quote, but you know what I'm saying. It's like if you know what you're getting into,
right?
You 100% gonna perform better. Is what your
I think so.
Because you've seen it too. You've seen it.
Yeah, so. I've seen it and stuff. So, yeah, like since we talked about history, like Napoleon, Hitler, these people, they really like to attack other people. But if I were in their place, I'd probably be like preparing so much that I wouldn't do like
the main
thing
attacking. Yeah,
I would be like preparing for A and B and C and D,
and then you die. Then you get shot.
Yeah,
before you even do anything.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do anything. I'm that kind of person.
I see.
Yeah,
that's some crazy. Your English journey has been crazy, and now you're moving to. Can we talk about?
Yeah, sure.
Your. Okay, so to give context, he's flying to Belarus tomorrow night. And he's gonna have a quite a trip, I would say, from Japan, from Narita to
Doha to
Doha,
Moscow.
Is that a Middle Eastern country?
It's Qatar.
Qatar, so that's Middle Eastern country, and then from Doha to
Moscow
to Russia.
Russia, yeah.
Look at this chat. casually going to Russia.
Right
and
now.
He has a visa for it too. So could you tell me about, before we get into the nitty gritty of the whole Belarus business?
Right.
Let's go a few steps back and tell me the whole fucking, I don't know, like the light bulb moment when you said to yourself, fuck it, I'm going to Belarus.
Right. What was it? So, in the really back of my head, I always had this desire to go to these like Slavic countries. To give the context, Slavic countries are these, like, there are groups of language that, like Romance language, Germanic language, Slavic languages. And Germanic languages are like German or English, Swedish, Netherlands, Dutch. These languages. Romance languages that I'm actually really good at are like Spanish, French, basically like the descendants of these Roman people.
Right.
And then there's another major group of European languages, which is Slavic language. And I've already had this desire of learning at least one Slavic language and going to some Slavic country. Um, part of it was because like whenever I started to, talk to these people on the internet, like I said, I had some people who really kind of like got close to me and sent me some stuffs from their countries. And one of them was this Polish person. And, I got some like gingerbread magnets and stuff.
So you got exposed to like
it was kind of like the first time someone sent me food. And I love food, I have to say. I love food. And the food is something special. When you try, someone's food, or like when you try some food from some culture, you kind of start to want to know about it.
Yeah, it gets more interesting. It gets more.
Food is like really a door to this culture. Like
like sushi,
Yeah, sushi. You eat sushi. You kind of like.
Oh, Japan.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of want to like know about it, right?
Who's Oda Nobunaga?
Yeah.
After eat that fish.
Eat sushi.
Oh my God, who's Tokugawa Ieyasu?
Yeah.
Who is this person?
Or like going to Korean restaurants, you get to eat Korean food, and you see these like, shiny ass people dancing and stuff.
That is the most adorable way to describe K-pop idols.
Yeah.
What did you say? These
Shiny
ass.
And you see them, right? And you kind of feel like, oh this food's good. And these people are, amazing, shiny.
After eating Shin Ramen, you're like, oh, who are these shiny people?
Yeah, so that's the magic of the food, I think.
Okay.
So when I eat this gingerbread, right, I started to search about gingerbread, and then about the country, then about the history of the country and stuffs. So I got really into this Slavic stuff. And so I was 15. I went to the library of my school, and I started to read about a lot of Slavic stuffs. I was like, why don't I learn their language? I could learn English. Why can't I do it? Right? So I got this book about Russian language, and it was a grammar book, and I started learning their alphabet. Like they use really different kind of alphabet, the weird ones.
And alpha, I don't know.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, and I somehow nailed the alphabet, but I couldn't really like I was busy back then, right? I was doing like entrance examination and stuff, so I couldn't really get into the language itself. But I kind of started to do the language again when I was 21, 20.
Started to get back into it when
when
you
you
get the free
like
time.
I know the
The basics.
the basics. I mean, I know the alphabet. I can try to do it, right? So when I was 21, 22, I started to getting back on the track and started to learn it. And even when I was not even learning this language, I was really interested in like this Slavic culture. So I was going to, like, when they brought this huge like 10 meters paintings about Slavic, like, what, mythology. It's called the Slav epic. The name is like a meme, the Slav epic, but it's a set of like 10 or 20, I don't know, like a lot of huge paintings about the Slavic people. And they brought it into Japan for the first time when I was 19 or something. I went there, I saw it, I was like, whoa, great. And anyways, I was really into this Slavic stuffs.
So that's your like key moment that, you know what? I'm going there one day. You knew about it.
Yeah, in my head it was originally, of
It
course.
was at the back of your head.
Yeah.
You keep it in there, and then if an opportunity presents itself, you grab pretty much
Yeah, it's kind of like the masculine desire
to be buffed.
to
It's in there, but you know what? If it comes,
like if it happens,
it
like,
happened, I
yeah.
guess. Ah.
Yeah, first it was Poland. Then I was going back and forth, and then I was learning Russian, and last year I was again on the track of like, it was like in and out,
Yeah.
but I was in this Russian learning period again. Yeah, I would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was
What's the language spoken in Belarus again?
it's Russian.
Russian. Okay. So
Mostly
Russian. And how would you say you'd fare, like when you get there? Would you be able to like, buy groceries without breaking a sweat?
No, I don't think so. No, I would suffer, but
For the first few, that's part of it, I guess.
that's what I'm looking for.
I see.
Kind of, yeah.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Like I said, I gotta force myself.
Yeah. You got to be in a uncomfortable situation to grow.
Yeah. I was in this Russian period. I met my girlfriend,
Which is nationality.
Belarusian.
Okay.
So she, I met her on language app actually.
Okay.
We were just chatting, and we kind of like
Hit it off and
met the vibes and whatever. Like
yeah.
stuff's happened,
Mm-hmm.
and we moved in together,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's been like 10 months
Uh-huh.
ago or something. We moved in
Right.
together over there in Nagareyama, that place, and even then I was not thinking about going there. Actually, I was like, like when she goes back to her country,
Then I guess it's
I can wait here.
Yeah, long distance relationship.
yeah, I mean, she should finish her study,
Mm-hmm.
and she's actually funded by government.
Okay.
Like she's a like exchange student funded by government.
Okay.
So she has to go back
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So it's not like she can stay after, like if she ditches her study or whatever. Like it's not like she can stay or anything. So we're like,
Why don't I follow you over there?
yeah, at some point,
From who? From you or from her?
me. Yeah, I was like,
what do you think about me going there? Something like that.
no, I was like,
To
you know
that
what?
effect?
I'm going.
And then, what'd she say?
Yeah, she was like, really? Yeah, I want it.
All right.
Yeah, and then it was probably like this winter. It was this winter.
This winter that you
Probably like
100%. Like, okay, you know what? We're doing this.
yeah, I was kind of thinking about it, of course.
By the way, before
Whenever
I
it
ask
happened.
that, did you know that you were passing through Russia?
No.
When did you know?
When was
did
it?
you
When was it?
know?
Well, when I bought the ticket, for sure, right?
Jesus Christ.
It was, and later I can talk about it, but it gave me more problem actually. But it was when I was, well, my girlfriend got a ticket from the government.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same ticket,
The return ticket.
the return
Okay.
ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And when my girlfriend knows, like, she's passing through Russia, or she of course wants to fly with me. So yeah, let's get a ticket.
The same ticket.
That's the same ticket. I was like, yeah, sure,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
And then you'll need a visa for it, and then you got yourself a visa for it
Yeah, there was a really long process of
of the
Of-
visa
of-
acquiring.
visa acquiring, and like realizing
Mhm.
that I need visa. So basically, apparently, Japanese people don't need visa
to go to Russia.
go to Belarus.
To Belarus. Okay.
30 days. If only you don't get in from Russia.
But
if
you're coming from
Russia, you got
you
to
have to have a. Oh my goodness. Okay, I
Yes.
see. So since the plane ticket you got was from Russia,
Yeah.
it means you have to get a visa.
Yeah.
And so far,
And the
well,
tricky part is Russia, right?
uh-huh,
If you're just like transiting,
uh-huh,
if you're just on a transit in Russian airports, you don't have to get a visa
okay.
unless you're going to Belarus or Kazakhstan.
That's an unfortunate situation
Yeah,
you got
so-
yourself in.
Yeah, that's what happened. If I don't go through Russia,
Right.
I didn't need even one visa.
Yeah. You just go
Go
straight up. Yeah.
30 days and do legal stuff and extend my stay.
Right.
But
Since you
I'm
guys
going
are
through
gonna-
Russia, everything got fucked up.
that's one hell of an adventure,
Yeah.
to say the least.
And we are also planning to, obtain my visa anyway. There in Belarus, you can do it actually in the
Once you're there, once you
Minsk
get there.
airport, national airport of Minsk. But again, if you're coming in from Russia, you can't do that.
Shit.
I was like, what?
Like all the you can't do just happened to you.
Yeah, and
All the
the
restrictions.
surprising thing was the Belarusian government, I mean the embassy was closed in Tokyo. So I can't take visa in
Belarus.
in Belarus,
And you can't
in
here.
Tokyo,
So where did you get it?
in anywhere. But eventually they opened.
Okay.
I was, actually planning to stay in Moscow for 8 days or something and take it there.
Yeah.
Just stay there,
And then
take the visa there,
process it over there and
and then get into the country. But
all things
fortunately,
considered, all things considered, you got it all sorted out.
fortunately, I didn't have to do it. Eventually, I have Russian visa, so I can
Go to
safely transit from Moscow to Minsk, and I have Belarusian visa already to stay there for extended amount of times.
right.
So
And then hopefully get married and get
yeah.
that would be nice. That would be
And
nice.
Good thing is like it's nothing shady or anything
It's a straight up, right?
Yeah, the embassy people, the embassy asks you like the reason to stay, right? On the paper and stuff. We just wrote straight up, yeah, we're getting married there.
We're a couple and it's
Yeah.
a fair reason.
They're like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice, man.
So far, any regrets about this move?
No, I mean, of course I have a certain remorse about the job.
Okay.
The job. I mean, I like the job,
Okay.
of course. But other than that, I mean, it's
Part
You
of
gotta
it.
move on.
It's part of it.
you gotta move on, right? Like,
Could you give me, before we wrap it up, like, could you give me one thing that you would say, what was the best moment as an English teacher before moving on from that profession? That one moment, that one thing that you will never forget.
that's
That's a hard one, eh?
that's a hard one. I mean, that's a hard one. Let's say, you know, let's say it's when you actually starting to get to know the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it's when you leave.
Okay.
Right. So one thing is the first,
Yeah.
and the middle just
It's
kinda
the
like-
part of it's the working
it's
process.
it's just nothing special. It's
Mhm.
just day-to-day stuff.
Right.
You do kind of like similar stuff, and you
Mhm.
try something new in the way, and then suddenly there's an end, right? Where you don't even like expect,
Mm.
and where you don't even know.
Mm.
I mean, you haven't like exactly planned when you, for example, leave
Yeah.
your work, right? And well, there's a sudden moment where I decide to leave.
Leave, yeah.
And then there's this like ambiguous period of me before leaving, and now it's me after leaving, right? When you are thinking, like when you are about to leave, like me before leaving period, I wasn't feeling like anything, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same,
Yeah.
kind of the same. I mean, or I try to keep it the same.
Or you were just trying to not think about it.
Yeah,
Just being
perhaps.
normal.
Yeah, it's just, you know, just be normal, right?
Yeah.
You just don't make it weird, right?
Don't make
Hey,
it a big deal.
I'm leaving anyway, so I'm not doing like I'm stopped doing like things about the future or like
Right.
I'm yeah, I'm leaving anyway, so I'm gonna stop doing this thing.
Just keep it
doesn't.
casual.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You just do it.
Mm.
As long as you're there, you just do your job.
Right.
So I think I pretty much did a good job of this, like keeping it normal till the last day.
Which would be the Saturday or the Friday?
That's Saturday, I think.
The Saturday.
The
okay.
Saturday, yeah. I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, last a few days, I mean, I wasn't kind of there.
Yeah. For the last week, yeah.
I wasn't kind of there. I was like caught up with other stuff, and I was a little bit focused on, like, you know, like saying goodbye and stuff. But at the same time, I'd say, yeah, I did a pretty good job of staying normal with everyone.
Right.
With teachers, with kids.
Yeah. And would you say that goodbye is even though it's bitter, it's like a bittersweet. It's like it's sad, but at the same time it's the best moment.
I'd say so.
Because I would say that it is a reminder to you that, oh, I actually did something here of weight, that I'm being valued, I'm being recognized, the kids are showing me some emotions or some things that I haven't seen them do or show me.
Yeah.
You would say that would be the best part.
Yeah, you know, I would say the best parts are the ones that you didn't expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't expect that type of reactions.
Yeah, especially for some people.
Some certain individuals. Yeah.
Some certain kid,
Yeah.
K.
Yeah.
With the name K. You know, it's one of the best part. And of course, the best part is when we are getting to know each other.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can relate to this one. Like, you know, think about when you started this job and like when you are starting to get to know with like this kid that's still in our institute.
Yeah.
It's like a good memory. It's like a different kind of like memory that you keep here.
It is. Yeah.
Cherish in yourself.
Yeah.
And then this one, it didn't happen to you yet, but when you actually,
it would be, when it does happen, I would understand more.
Yeah, it's probably the difference there, like the comparison there. Like, we started this way, and we ended up this way,
and that pretty much
and that kind of sums up
everything. It's like a story.
Yeah,
and you get a beginning, like how every story goes, and then you get an ending. And that's.
And the beginning is just something in the middle is kind of
like wavy,
Yeah, it's just
up and down,
up and down. But still,
out of 10 though, like how do you enjoy your stint?
I say 11.
Really?
I say 11. I had a big time there. I had a big time.
We did some stupid shit.
We did some shit. And we're still kind of on it.
Yeah. The chicken culture will continue.
The chicken culture, the card game, and the sticker rally chart.
The money.
The good thing about my service there was that whatever I started to do, it got way bigger than whatever I expected. And that I'm proud of as a person who kind of like spit it out
Right.
to the place. But at the same time, I'm just grateful about people who
Received it well.
received it well and who kind of supported me doing that
Right.
things. I mean, I would have to say my usual operational skills were like kind of low, like kind of mid. I mean, not that high. Like I was kind of like spending so much energy on something that's like not like daily, not
Right.
necessary. But
And it's all a balancing act. Like
Yeah.
we get people who does this, and then we get people who does what you do, and that's the thing I always, since it's like, not to make it you know very deep or dark or whatever, but
right.
it's something that I don't see. I've worked with plenty of teachers. I've worked with plenty of personalities, but not like, not to the point where they would go out of their way
Right.
to do shit. The shit that we
Yeah.
do. We call it poop games.
Yeah,
And
poop games.
Poop
Yeah.
games, poop stuff, poop, like
Yeah, poop shows.
poop everything. And I value that. First of all, I value your ideas, and I treat it as a weapon, as a,
Yeah.
like, as much as you make it, and then I'm there to wield it and wield it and
Yeah,
wield it.
yeah,
And
that's the deal. Even if I make a weapon, someone has to
wield it in
yeah,
order
wield
to
it and just use it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's why because I wouldn't be able to come up with all of the shit you did. Like, for
Right.
example, just to give context, we made this currency. So usually, what happens in a normal like institution is like you give out stars, you give out some visual praises to kids. In our case, we made money. He came up with this money,
yeah.
and then he printed bills. We cut bills, we made bills, and then we made a store that they could buy stuff. And I thought, yeah, we were just like all in with that. And then we moved on to many things, like we made card games. He it was his idea of making card games, and it became very big to the point now that I'm very proud of it, not because it was my idea or anything like that, but because I was a part of it. We were making, it's like a trading card game, wherein we make our own cards. He made the first few batches, and then I followed up with a couple of batches. I would say like 8-9 archetypes, and print it off in some nice card stock, give it away to kids, and they enjoy it. Some kids would straight up trade Pokemon cards for our cards. And that's, to me, when I heard a kid doing that, it's like a goddamn, it is just like fucking insane. And that's the thing. That's one good moment I think that you could bring when moving on to your next journey, is you left something. You left a big impact to a lot of kids' enjoyment to their childhood.
Yeah, I hope.
Who could say that I grew up playing this card game? What is that card
Yeah,
game?
just weird stuffs, right? I mean, yeah, I guess it's impossible that, let's say, most of these kids would remember me, a person.
Some of them would.
Well, some of them would, but
Yeah.
they're pretty young. I don't remember like my, let's say, elementary teacher that much. Like
But
what they did and stuff.
yeah. Who were they? What they did? But
Yeah.
not.
But my hope, or let's say, it would be cool if like one day, right, like
Yeah.
when they're
grown
20,
up.
30,
Yeah.
open their box of something, and they see
see
this card
chickens, or they
or
see the card.
chickens, and
they would
they
be
would
reminded.
remember not about me, but my work.
And
Oh
how
yeah,
they-
I had this like card.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, I had this like good time with my friends playing with this card, and that's when I would say my service was truly successful. I
And
think
I would say, and I would confirm that it will happen, and you did absolutely what you could have done to. Again, this is how I like to call our profession. It's not to teach, but to shape the future generation.
right.
Like, and I'm here to acknowledge that everything that we did together, or everything that your ideas, it may not be for everyone,
Right.
but for everyone, for all the individuals that you have affected, they would definitely remember you and your work because of the amazing times we've had doing all the stupid shit together. And yeah, that if I was a teacher, if I was an educator, an instructor, that would probably be the best thing that could happen to me, if I can leave my mark in someone's life. And I'd say you did it.
Right.
You did a great job in your 2 years.
I hope so. And what I'm saying is that none of these were possible without the team I had. Like someone who's wiping my ass while I'm like my upper body is like working on the other like, not necessarily, but if there was this thing, better kind of stuff.
Right.
Like I would say I was the most luxurious person there, of having time, the luxury of time to work on this. Not necessarily, those are what I call luxury, like stuffs, where it is totally just for fun, pure fun. I was able to work on creating just this pure material for fun, while I myself was having fun, of course.
Yeah.
While other people are literally just wiping my poop.
Busy trying to, but again, that's what makes, not everyone is a striker. Not everyone is a goalkeeper. That's one dynamic of everything that involves a team, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you were lucky enough to have a team that could
Yeah,
do it.
definitely. I mean,
I am lucky enough to have a team that could provide with some creative poop.
Yeah, whatever. Let's say I would be asked to run something like in the future or something.
Yeah.
Or at least for now, in this moment. If someone tells me to gather up a team, this is the team.
Right.
I would just gather everyone from my current team. That it was just golden, like this. Let's say this 1 year since the like there's a change in the let's say team. Like there's a change
There's a
in
big
assignment,
yeah,
big
yeah,
change.
yeah.
This 1 year have been the best of the teams.
It's been stressful. Like I was alone as a native for a while,
Right.
but it was probably one of the most enjoyable times, I would say.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like we had a very good leader, who's kind of up to decide something.
Right.
We had a very like, well, you are like, what do you say? Like you're kind of like versatility there. Like you are really like, you're really like the backbone of the team. We had a good brain, good backbone. I would say I was, I don't know, poop.
You were the poop.
I was the poop.
And the poop was the thing that made us. Would you say that? Like, that's an identity, right? Like, would you? Because think about other institutions
Right.
named like ours.
Right.
No one, or I'd say no one will come close to how poopy we are.
Yeah, I'm so lucky to be the poop. I'm so lucky to, have everything kind of like digested
Right.
and become
And the
this
poop
poop
that we
person.
produce. Yeah.
And then from out of this poop, we create poop games, we create poop stuff.
Stuffs, and then it becomes this culture.
Yeah, so
that
it was.
That kids adore.
Yeah, it was the. Really
By the way, it's not poop, okay? It's not. We're just addressing it. We're just saying it's poop, but these are like how we call it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just these stupid games, stupid like card games or bills or whatnot. Some out of the box ideas.
Yeah.
To be perfectly
to trash ideas.
Yeah.
That maybe get disregarded in some other institutes,
places. Yeah.
but hopefully we were tolerant enough to pick up these poops and look for the gold out of poop,
which I think you heard it here first. In every poop, there's something of importance. You just have to dig through it and find it.
Which is true.
Heard it first.
Which is true, though.
Yeah,
Which is true. Which is true. Absolutely true.
Absolutely. I've after meeting you, I believe it. After meeting you, I am a firm believer of golden poop.
Yeah.
But anyways, I obviously I'll be publishing this. It's gonna be public. A lot of my acquaintances, a lot of the people that I know are probably going to be, have a crack at this, have a listen to it. And this could be heard by, some of the kids.
Right.
Or some of our kids.
Right.
And would you give them a final message and something to ponder upon, like moving forward without Teacher Patrick? What a final advice, a final message that, would mark your end as an English teacher?
Well,
I would like you to face this camera over here.
That camera?
Yes.
Let's say, I would say, you already know this. I'm always saying the same thing. Just keep going. Just, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep improving yourself. Whatever you're doing, I mean, it's kind of gonna sound like an inspirational quote, but whatever you're doing, there's no perfection. There's nothing that makes it complete. There's no end, or like there's nothing that you can call flawless. So you gotta kind of look for the flow. You gotta kind of like keep going. You gotta kind of improve yourself, renew yourself whenever you can, whenever you find it possible. And upon working with the institute I was in, I've already tried to do it myself. I've already committed myself into beating myself in the past. I've always tried to be better. I've always tried to be different and, make something that beats my previous work. And I hope for my kids to have the same attitude, the same belief that there is no perfection, there is no ending point, culminating point, stopping point, where they can just stop. I mean, sometimes taking a rest, maybe like having some pause is great, but definitely you shouldn't end there. Once you just sit down and stop doing anything, then that's when you're starting to get like worse. So yeah, I hope you guys will keep going, and whatever you're doing, I hope you guys will believe in yourself and just keep going, just push forward, and never get satisfied. Just push it forward, push it forward, push it forward.
Right. So you heard it here first. Okay. Die trying, guys.
Yeah, die
Never
trying.
stop. Push forward. Die trying.
That-
The moment it stops is the moment it all ends. So you can rest, but you can never stop.
Yeah, that way you can.
That's some workout shit right there. I feel like pumping some weights right now. You can rest, but you can't stop. Yeah.
That way you can be bold enough to, fly to Russia, fly to Belarus.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just like this person over here. Just like
know,
have a crazy enough mindset to like, I won't stop until I'm satisfied. Which is don't be satisfied until
yeah, in fact, you will never be satisfied.
That's a great
You just
attitude.
keep pushing.
That's a
and-
great mindset to have. That's a great mindset to have. Just to be able to understand that you need to go. Whatever happens,
Yeah.
however uncomfortable you are, however whatever despair, whatever sadness, whatever challenges that might come your way, to be able to just pick yourself up and keep walking.
Yeah.
To be able to keep walking forward. That's a great mindset to have. And yeah, with that, episode 2 of Game Plan in Japan, we talked about a lot of stuff today. We started with video games, moved on to some Slavic stuff, some English, some language learning, some teaching philosophies, and to top it all off, we did some workout advice for the kids. That's a very, very fruitful and wonderful conversation. I really do appreciate you coming up and showing up, and I wish you all the best moving forward. Avoid the missiles, avoid the ammo, the artillery.
Or die trying.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just when you get there, I hope you get there in one piece. Get out of there in one piece.
In one piece.
And perhaps maybe sometime, we could have a game of Ultimo.
Oh yeah, sure.
That would be, and show you the new batches of like cards, and all your old cards would be like all power crept by the new cards, like 50 base power or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I really do
I'm digging.
appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah, look forward to the next episode of Game Plan in Japan together with I'm your host, Mr. the Curry Guy himself, and we got Shunsuke. So
Thanks.
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.